So next up in this series we're going to do Cavalry Rebel Leaders. Now in terms of PvP gear, these are I think the worst. The only gear they drop are these 3 pieces for the main 3 sets. So they're obviously good for imp sets, especially the headband, that's very good, especially the imp spear, which is very popular. But other than that, it'll mostly be used I guess for Kingsguard farming. The other piece of gear they drop are these 2 from Westerland's Ore Thief, so building speed not too important, and then Hedge Knights for these. This used to be decent at gold as like a third free-to-play accessory, but now with Kingsguard, probably not. This is mostly used for just the training speed. So the main use killing these will give you are these 3 pieces on Narrow Sea Raiders. Now, cavalries are one of the easier types of rebels to kill if you have paid commanders at least. It's quite easy to get them to the efficient kill thresholds, so 4-shotting 5s, 1-shotting 3s, and 2-shotting 4s. It's a little trickier free to play since there's just not much in the way of high damage free to play spear commanders. There's Arslan, that's about it. One benefit you do have is Jean can solo tank a level 4 by herself without any extra help, which is quite useful. So I did some hits and some testing earlier and saved some reports. Commanders like this seem to be what is most decent. There's always a group of always good, obviously, and then you have to rotate between them according to what's best for you and your rarities. So Julian and Theon are going to go in every formation no matter what. I think probably Jean too. They're obviously amazing. Julian is always amazing and he counters, so he does insane amounts of damage. You'll have like your Sheilas and your Sabrinas, Egbert maybe. If you don't have like Marjorie and you're hitting 5s and you need to keep your tank alive, something like that can work. Enzo he doesn't get countered unlike against spears, so the Enzo tank method is always good, especially like green and blue for 3s and 4s. Even if you're low spending, you can get 3s and 4s to very efficient kill thresholds or kill efficiency points just through him, because his passive ability is so crazy, the 1% attack per 1% health loss. But then in terms of spear commanders, a lot of them are kind of awkward. Like Varys is such low attack, 4000 is so low. Annie is good, especially with her being quite easy to get into higher rarities now with the recruitment pass. But the free-to-play options, especially like Garel, Hector, Uma, they're just not that great. And the highest damaging free-to-play formation against cavalries that I've found is actually quite interesting because it doesn't use many spearmen, it only uses Arslan, which I did not expect actually. I thought it would use more. So my reports from earlier, like I said, it's easy to get it to these efficient kill thresholds, the 1-shotting 3s, 2-shotting 4s, 4-shotting 5s with paid commanders. Here I used Julian tank, so we can get more mic recovery for his active, and he stays alive with just Gene heals. Same with this. Against the 4, he'll stay alive with just Gene heals. Julian's quite tanky, he's quite good for that actually. See her Grey Daenerys, I mean, it's very pay to win. It doesn't really matter what that spot is, as long as you have the like core group with Julian, Jean, Theon. Interestingly, from my tests, Gold Enzo at least as tank against 5s is worse than Marjorie for some reason, which I also did not expect. I guess it lets you squeeze in more counter damage, which pulls it ahead, but not entirely sure why. I mean, with the paid formations, it sort of just works itself out. Stick to Julian, stick to Theon, Gold Annie, Jean, Arslan, and you'll do huge amounts of damage. With free to play, it's a bit trickier. So I was testing around here a bit. I mean, this is low amount of damage. This won't get to free shot range on a 4. Jean does stay alive here. She doesn't die, but the damage is still super low. Here, you can see I swapped out the Spearman, or one of them, for extra bow damage, or Egbert here. So on the Might Recovery, actually boosts its damage up a bit. But what was doing the most damage, which really surprised me, was Merila Mengo, and then only Arslan, which, yeah, like you can see here, even replacing Egbert with Sabrina, the damage goes up even more, because Jean can stay alive. So if you want to kill cavalry the quickest with only free-to-play commanders, it seems this is actually the best formation, even though these two don't counter. I know this formation also weirdly works well against Bowman Rebel Leaders, and I honestly don't know why. It doesn't really make much sense. It goes against like what you'd theory craft or just think by the logic of the game, but when you test it, it works really well. So try out yourself. And then for 4s, I was finding significantly more success with Enzo as tank and just Jean as the healer compared to the, what was it, like the other paid formations. And this will probably only be better with lower rarities of Enzo because it'll take a bit more damage. Like if he's green or blue, you can get huge amounts of damage there, and as long as it's over 50% on that first hit, it's fine, because it will die in 2. Anywhere between 50 and 99%, it doesn't really matter. It will die in the same amount of motivation. So yeah, there you go, that is the best formations for Cavalry Rebel Leaders.